Well, it's been another 2 weeks, so I apologise for that, but it's good to be back in the constituency on a Friday doing the usual. I was at Roulette in Llandudno this morning. I've had a constituency surgery as well, and it's the usual Friday stuff in the constituency, which is well worth doing, and make sure that we stay in touch. But next week, I'll be very pleased to see my role in the Ministry of Defence coincide very, very well with my position as the local MP here in Aberconwy, because I'm sure you're well aware that the Armed Forces Day for the whole of the United Kingdom is coming to Llandudno this year, and I'm sure that you're looking forward to it in the same way as I am. Now, I know that if you're a resident of Craigerdon, you will probably be facing a few days of disruption, but I think that will be well worth it when you see the honour, indeed, which is being bestowed upon Llandudno in being the host for this event, which is a significant event, a very large event, and I'm very pleased in terms of the preparations which have been done by Conwy Council in association with their partners. And indeed, if anybody feels that they want to be involved, then you should get onto the council website, have a look at what support is still needed, what help is still needed, what volunteers are still being looked for. And if you want to get involved, you've still got a week to do so. But the one thing I do hope is that the weather will be as good as it is promised to be this weekend. We can only hope. In terms of Westminster, it's been a fairly busy 2 weeks. To a very large extent, it's been dominated by our good old friend Brexit. And I know listening figures for Radio 4 have fallen, people are buying less newspapers, and I have no doubt part of this is because the whole Brexit process is dragging on somewhat. But I think it is important to note that those people who have been of the view that Parliament is trying to frustrate Brexit in some way should be reassured by the fact that A, Parliament passed the Article 50 motion comprehensively back in 2017. I think that was a vote which highlighted the fact that Parliament acknowledged that they had passed on the decision to the British people, and therefore there was no real justification for opposing the decision taken by the British people. And in the same way with the withdrawal bill, which passed on Wednesday, was also very important in as much as it now puts down the framework for our withdrawal from the European Union. But I do think from now onwards, I think we should stop talking about traitors, we should stop talking about betrayal. The key thing now is to get a deal which will be good for the whole of the United Kingdom, which will be good for Wales, which will be good for North Wales, and which will be good for the constituency of Aberconwy. We need to get a deal that will work for both sides. We've made it very clear from a legal point of view now the United Kingdom is leaving the European Union, but we now need to work on that deal. So less rhetoric perhaps, and a bit more hard work from now on. I'm confident that the government and the Prime Minister will get us the deal that we need, but I do say to those who've been very keen to talk about traitors and betrayal, nothing of that manner has happened. What we've seen is a serious debate in Parliament trying to ensure that we will get a deal that some Brexiteers said would be so easy to achieve, it would have been signed within 6 months of the referendum date. Well, it's proven to be a bit more difficult, but I think we now should pull together and make sure that we achieve a deal which will ensure that businesses have the certainty to move forward constructively here in Wales and in the rest of the United Kingdom. Talking of other things that have happened in Parliament, I'm sure that many people will be very pleased with the announcement that an additional 20 billion is being made available to the National Health Service. In England, there's been a challenge laid down by governments now for the Health Service chief executives and leaders to come back with a proposal within 4 months as to how they will utilise this significant spending boost. And it is a significant spending boost. There might indeed need to be some tax rises to go with it, and that's an issue that will be discussed in depth, I suspect, between now and the autumn budget. But that figure, or 20 billion for the National Health Service in England, equates to an extra 1.2 billion here in Wales. And I think that that conversation which will happen in England, we need to have the same conversation here in Wales. So I would say very clearly to the Welsh Government, this is a fantastic boost to your budget for the health service. You need to consult with the people of Wales, with the experts here in Wales, to ensure that that money is spent properly. And a couple of other things from a Ministry of Defence point of view, it remains very, very busy. I was very pleased to be in Brussels, believe it or not, on Thursday. Not talking about Brexit, I'm glad to say, but actually trying to be involved in the Eurofighter campaign, where Typhoon, the Eurofighter Typhoon, is in a competition with the American F-35 to satisfy the new Belgian Air Force requirements moving forward. And despite all this negativity around the United Kingdom withdrawing from the European Union, it was rather good to be involved in a fantastic campaign which is bringing 5 countries together: Belgium, Germany, Italy, Spain and the United Kingdom. The aim and the aspiration is to ensure that the Belgians do choose the Eurofighter, and ensures that the United Kingdom can still be involved in such industrial developments, whether we're in the European Union or not. So in many ways it was a very constructive visit, and I hope that the team will have been successful when the Belgians make their decision. But what I do know is that the campaign has been fantastic. And finally, my congratulations to people in Conway and Guto indeed for the twinning of Conway Castle with a castle in Japan. It's the first time the castle has been twinned with any other castle. I have to say, driving into my office these days, I'm not sure whether I'm in Westminster or Conway, because there's a competition between the Palace of Westminster and Conway Castle as to who can use the most scaffolding. But I do congratulate the decision to have this twinning. I understand that Japanese tourism to North Wales is increasing quite dramatically, and this type of initiative can do nothing other than enhance that cooperation. So congratulations to everybody involved, and let's hope the scaffolding is down sooner rather than later.